everybody healthy after practice.
Yes.
Did you have any conversation with Noah during the course of the 2 games or between games 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Keep shooting.
Yeah, keep being aggressive, keep being who you are. And like I said, at the end of the game, he made 3 big shots for us, so he puts in too much work, to get discouraged. And so, yeah, we need him to be aggressive.
So he'll go over 5 in the first 5 shots, 3 for 40 in the game. Let's show you how much he's trusting in his work and you guys believe in him.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, he's got to trust in his work. He works too hard. Sometimes I think too much, So, loved me at the end of the game. You saw we did for us last year at the end of the game. And so this wasn't any different. So I'm glad he was able to make those 3 shots in the fourth quarter. And hopefully they get him going throughout the course of the series.
So to that point, does it feel like a norm game is potentially coming in this
Yes,
series?
sir.
Yeah, because a lot of those shots that he missed are shots that, like you mentioned, he's made throughout the course of the year.
Yes, sir.
And then he mentioned as well just the confidence that Kawhi and James have in him and how much that has helped. How have you seen that play out, just the 2 stars of this team trusting their teammates, particularly Norm?
Yeah, just being encouraged and telling them to keep shooting, keep being aggressive. And you saw that 3 that he made, like Kawhi had the ball and swung it right back to Norm to get a wide open shot. And so we all have trust and belief in him, and he has belief in himself as well. And so he'll be a lot better.
Off of that, Bogey hasn't hit a shot yet in the series. Like, what do you feel like Denver is doing to make him maybe uncomfortable, and what do you feel like can unlock him going into the home portion of the series?
Same thing. I think he'll be okay. I think he got some good shots. One shot he rushed, tried to draw the foul, but other than that, I thought he got some good shots, and he'll be okay as well.
This feels like the most evenly matched series. Just what have you enjoyed about kind of the chess game and preparing for the matchups in this one?
I haven't enjoyed it at all. Not against Joker. We just put you in some tough positions. Like I said, when you have a 7-foot center that can come off pin downs, shoot the 3, post smaller guys or bigger guys, put the ball on the floor, and his passing ability, it just makes it tough for you to do the same thing and try to take him out of the game because he can kill you in so many ways. And so just try to show him different coverages, different looks, try to keep them all balanced as best we can, and then just go from there.
Because of how close this series is, how much does that raise the attention to detail, the urgency of every little thing impacting what could come in the end of the game?
Yeah, that's basically our film session today. Coming up, and we had 5 plays out of timeouts. We didn't execute the right way. It was in the wrong positions. So you can't waste possessions in the playoffs. And then, rebound the basketball, like we talked about all year. Gave up 15 offensive rebounds. I think they beat us 50-32 on the glass. And so we got to be better just, understanding what we're doing. We got to hit bodies. We got to secure the rebound. And when we do that, we can play with more pace and get out in transition.
Nikola mentioned that as far as like the defense you guys are throwing at him, it's a lot of read and react because you guys are throwing so many different coverages. How is the dynamic defensively working in different things that you throw at him throughout a game?
How's it working?
How's the dynamic working between like when you choose to do this or that?
Yeah, like I said, we understand how they're trying to attack us now. What they're doing offensively, and so we did a good job of countering that. I think when we did counter, we got hurt with the offensive rebound because we were in scramble mode. It wasn't like staying at home and you can keep a body on Gordon and keep a body on Porter. We were blitzing, and so now you're in scramble mode. So now you got to be more, physical. Like when you get to the bat, you got to really hit guys and drive them out. And so we didn't do a good job of that. I thought our initial defense was really good, but when the shot went up, we got to be better.
It seemed like game 2 compared to game 1, Denver was more willing to just switch and play Kawhi one-on-one defensively. Did that surprise you a little bit compared to game 1 that they didn't try to blitz or fire at him as much as they did?
Well, we put him in different positions. I think game 1 we saw how they try to play. And then game 2, we did a better job of just trying to keep Kawhi in the middle of the floor, in the middle third, so he can attack from there. And it's kind of hard to double team in that position. But then they did start firing late in the game, so we'll see.
What makes Kawhi so deadly in isolation?
Because he's a guy who can get to a spot. He's big enough to get to a spot. Even if the double team's coming, he can get to a spot quick enough we can shoot before the double team arrives. And then, like I said, if you switch and put smaller guys on, he can take advantage of that as well. And so, you got to see what they're going to do in Game 3, and we'll be ready for it.
I know there's things that you think you can live with defensively, but I know there's things defensively you can live with. But Russ has made 5 threes. I think he shot 5 of 12. A lot of them from the corners. How are you kind of looking at his 3-point shooting so far in this series?
He shot the 3-point shot really good this year while being in Denver. I think he's shooting 43 from the corners, 53 uncontested from the corners, and then above the break he's shooting 26%. So we got to understand that we want to be active, we want to help, but we just can't leave Russ in the corner. Like, he's proven he can make those shots, but we do want to be help-oriented, not just him, just everybody, and then get back out, get a contest, but we just can't leave him and give him their shots.
Norm said that because of the talent involved in this series, it doesn't feel like a first-round series.
It doesn't.
What does it feel like here?
Western Conference Finals.
Coach, I wanted to ask about Chris Dunn. Obviously, James and Zoo and Kawhi get all the recognition, but it seems like Chris Dunn has been equally as important for you guys, especially defensively. He's been relentless. You look at that 50-50 ball he had with Michael Porter Jr. in the middle of the floor, get it to Norm Powell that puts you guys ahead. Can you talk about what Chris Dunn has meant to you guys in his first 2 games?
No, not just these 2 games, all season long. All season long, just who he is as a person, how he plays, how he approaches every single game, and we take on that personality. And when we do it every night, take on that personality, we're a tough team to beat. And so he's the head of the snake when it comes to starting the game with a defensive mindset, playing hard, competing defensively, and we need that every single night. And so that's what he brings for us.
Now, when you guys pick up full court, how does that help your defense? Or does it slow down their offense?
It helps a lot. I think it allows them to get into their triggers, later in the clock, which takes away Jokic's decision making, being able to pass the ball 3 or 4 times and make a play. It also wears them down when they're playing so many minutes, playing heavy minutes. I thought when Ben came in the game and picked up Joker full court and kind of denied him and got into him, I thought it wore him down. And the DJ picked up Jamal, and then Nico was up picking up the floor against him. So I think as the series goes along, and the more minutes they're playing, the more we can be, physical, picking up full court and trying to wear them down and be good for us.
After game 1, you said you didn't like the pace of that game. What did you think of the pace of game 2?
I didn't like it.
You still weren't getting into stuff as quickly as you
No,
like?
we can get better.
Ty, when you look at
Last one.
Nikola, and obviously I think officiating is a big part of this series with how everyone likes to draw fouls, but there's been a lot of embellishing of contact. Like, how are you approaching that with the officials? Like, do you have conversations about that? Are there conversations with the players about that? Like, how do you approach those type of things?
The officials are doing a great job. Have a good day. But what?
No, but seriously, how do you approach that when it's?
Man, we just got to play through it. We just got to play through it. He's the MVP. He's the MVP for a reason. He's going to get certain calls, and we just got to play through it. We got to play through everything. So, he's been doing it. He's a good player. He's good at doing it, and so, there's nothing we can do. Just play through it.
Thanks, Coach.
Derrick, what do you feel like has been the key to you contributing to the team defensively in this series specifically?
Just picking up the ball, being aggressive, not trying to let the game come to me defensively, making my mark on the game. Whenever I can, just being as disruptive as I can, trying to make them speed up and force turnovers.
Have you and Chris kind of had a dialogue about what each other are doing? Like, are y'all giving each other feedback and trying to support each other that way?
It's something we've been doing all year long. Even when I was starting and he was coming off the bench, or I'm coming off the bench, he's starting. It's the same way. We make sure that we come in the game and there's no laps in between the quarters. So we both try to pick up full court, do whatever we can, hound the ball, and get some extra plays for our team.
Nikola mentioned that the defense that you guys are throwing at it was a lot of read and react, and you guys are mixing it up so often. How is that dynamic in the middle of a game? Like, how does that kind of work, where you try to bait him into certain things, but he's also reacting based off like where guys might be? I'm saying, like, how is that dynamic defensively?
For us, we know what we're going defensively. We just trying to make him pick up the ball early and force him to pass the ball, and obviously throwing bodies at him and keeping bodies in front of him, making sure that he don't have a straight line drive to the rim. Mostly just trying to keep people in front of him and contest all the shots.
DJ, how do you think picking those guys up full court affects their offense and helps the defense out?
They get into their offense later in the clock. It's less time that we have to guard, but that's not really the thing. But it's more so just they're getting sped up on the half court trying to get the ball up the floor, and obviously the pressure me and KD put on the ball, bumping and putting all the contact on the guards, trying to bring the ball up the floor, kind of tires them down a little bit. So, just slow down their offense and get them a little bit tired.
Has anything through these first 2 games surprised you, whether it's on their end or anything that they're doing?
Nah, it's playoff basketball.
Does this feel like a first round series? Because Norm said it's 2 top teams, and he said it feels like a later in the playoff type series. Is that how you feel?
For me, playoff basketball is playoff basketball. It's going to be how it is. You gotta go out there and be as physical as you can. No matter if it's first round, second round, championship, you gotta go out there and give it everything you have. If you don't, you going home.
Of course, nothing is, fully figured out until the very end. But going into Game 3, what do you feel like you have figured out about this series, whether it's on your side or theirs?
For us, we just gotta go out there and play as hard as we can. On the defensive end, that's where we hang our hat. We gotta make sure that we cause a lot of turnovers and be disruptive on the defensive end. And just get some easier plays for us on a fast break. Because we have a whole lot of athletes on this team, and we all love to run.
Chris obviously has a tough matchup in Jamal. What's it like to watch him and what he's been able to do defensively this series?
He's been doing amazing. On ball, just picking up the ball, hounding him, getting his steals whenever he can, flying around, just being that disruptor that he is. He is who he is. We know that he was like this from day one, so that's what we've been waiting for.
How does the series change for you as a player when the venue changes? Going from playing these road games to now coming home.
It don't change for me. Game is a game. I go in there with the same mindset every night. I give it 110% every night. Whatever I have in my body, I leave it out on the floor. I don't change my mindset game to game. I go out there and have the same mindset every one.
When you approach this series, like in the first two games, I think Norman Bogey had shot like 4 of 14 from 3. So but the looks have been there. Like, does that give you confidence that you got a couple more of those shots to go? Like, this series will go a lot more your way. Like, you guys could easily be up 2-0 as well.
I wouldn't say it like that. It's basketball. You can't harp on the misses and makes it. It is what it is. You gotta take the shots that you give. But trying to dwell on if you could have made the shots or if you could have done this or that. We don't live like that. We didn't make the shots, so we lost game 1. And we making sure that we do everything that we can do to make sure we win these games.
Have you ever been picked up by an opponent before, regardless of situation?
That don't matter. Next question.
How are you feeling about just how you've been able to progress through this series? Just in general, like whether your shots falling or not, like whatever the game is calling for. Especially, it seemed like in Game 2, you did all the things necessary to help the team win the game.
Yeah, around this time, it's all about winning, impacting winning, making winning plays, making winning efforts. Obviously, for me, buckets aren't coming as they have been all year, but it's just about staying confident, riding the waves of the ups and downs of it, trusting my work, and just continue to take the shots that are open. Every shot that I've taken in this series have been shots I've made all year. Just not going in, but I have unwavering confidence in myself. My teammates, the coaching staff does throughout the course of the first 2 games. They've kept telling me to be aggressive and look for my spots, look for my shots, and late in the game, in Game 2, I was able to convert on some of those shots that late in the game when we needed them, and that's what matters most. It's just continuing to believe in myself and find ways to be effective.
You mentioned your teammates. How big has that been? Because Kawhi and James both, after the game, said that they have the utmost confidence in you to take those big shots that you made down the stretch of the fourth quarter. How helpful is it knowing that the 2 stars of the team trust you to make those plays? Really
helpful. It just shows that they trust the work, they trust in my abilities as a player, as a teammate. Like I said, around this time, you need that. You need the confidence in your 2-star players. You need the confidence in the support, the cast, and the role players. To go out there and execute and win. It's a team game. Those guys are going to do what they have to do to put us in position, but it's everybody stepping up and making plays throughout the course of a series, out of the course of a 48-minute game that's going to dig out wins. It's not just going to be one guy, but everybody around here knows the amount I put into this game each and every day, whether it's a good game, bad game. I'm in here the next day putting in the work, getting better, watching film, and seeing how I can be the best version of myself for this team. So it means a lot.
You've obviously come a long way since 2019, but how much does that experience help in moments like this, knowing that you've been through it, you're a champion, you have that experience?
Yeah, experience is everything. I know the ups and downs of it. I know what series looks like. I know what media looks like when it comes to the playoffs. Losing one game, not playing well, or losing 2 games and not playing well and feeling like we can be better. But it's all blocking that out and coming in here and focusing on how we can improve individually and as a team in this time of the year. Everybody's going to be saying something, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is the guys that stepping on this floor with you and go out there and compete. Every game's going to be different. Just because you beat a team by a lot, you see the Laker game. Timberwolves come out and beat them by 20 plus, and they come back and they lose by 9. You know, every game is different. You know, you don't hang your head based off one game, and you don't get too happy off one game. You know, you gotta ride the wave until you win the 4 games to complete the series, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what this team is focused on.
Well, I know you guys are obviously very routine oriented. This series is a little weird with a 1 p.m. start, 2 night starts, and a 3 p.m. start. Like, does not having a shoot around or anything like, does that kind of affect how you approach a game? Maybe you have to get going a little early. How does that kind of change the early start time?
I mean, it just changes if I'm going to be able to get on the court before a game or not. But other than that, everything remains the same. You know, I'm not really focused on when the game starts. It's just being ready for tip-off, you know. And I don't think anybody's worried about when the game is. You give us the time and we're going to be ready to go out there and play and compete. But for me, my routine is just not being able to get on the floor in the morning before games when it's an early started game. I'll probably get extra work in the night before or the day before, but that's the only really difference between my routine.
What's the key to you hitting that interior pass when you drive, touch the paint, and you got to find a way to get the ball to Zoo somehow?
It's just reading the weak side. You know, if Jokic or whoever that low man is going to step up when I'm penetrating the paint, Zoo relocating and seeing where that crackdown guy is coming for to take away that interior pass. If he's not there, then it's a pass to Zoo. If he's there, it's a kick out to the corner. But my focus is trying to get into the paint and create plays.
Has Zoo helped you out in any ways to make sure that pass gets completed?
Yeah, we've been talking. You know, I tell him, you know, when I get to the paint and they step up, just be worried about the guy coming down and take away that interior pass and making sure he seals them off. It's been a back and forth dialogue and making sure we get those plays completed. And we're able to do that for an and one late in game. But we've been talking about that play all year long because of how much I get into the paint and put pressure on the rim.
Has anything in this series through 2 games surprised you at all? Whether it's what they've done, how they've reacted to things, anything like that?
No, I don't think anything surprising. I think, you know, it's 2 top teams, 2 talented teams battling it out. You know, adjustments are going to be made. We try to, you know, change things up offensively and how we were doing in game 1. Game 2, they try to change up how they're doing things defensively, how we attacked them in game 1. So it's just reading the game. It's a chess game out there. You know, thinking strategies, thinking how you can manipulate the offense and defense. I think this is probably the best basketball series in terms of how the game is played, the guys that are on there, and the efficiency of basketball.
You mentioned this is the best basketball series. Does it feel like a first-round series to you because of that?
No, it honestly feels a little deeper in the playoffs. Just, you know, like I said, 2 top teams battling it out, and with the talent and the star level that you have on the floor, you know, it definitely has more intensity to it in previous round 1 series that I've played in the past. It feels like, you know, it could be a good matchup for like a Western Conference Finals type series.
Appreciate it, more. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, well, you did the thing in the afternoon. Yeah, I got him right here. Yeah, 78 today. Yeah, he was. Oh, yeah.
I think you know that there's practice tomorrow, right? I'll be here tomorrow. What about you?
I was here tomorrow, but I also have to pass today.
You know what? I'll send a video to you.
No,
Hey, don't worry. I'm not a pig. Don't worry. I'll send a video to you like I always do.
did I ask you today?
Not yet. The day's not over yet.
I got it.
All right. Hey, Pig, send me the name of that company, travel company.
Okay, I'll text you their website.
Okay. No, we're gonna go. I'll Venmo you.
No, I've been shooting the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, I've been shooting the whole time.
In that case, I'm
Probably I'll be in.